change when you grow up. It changes when you show up. Hi everybody, my name is Annika Chadha, and today I want to tell you a story about what happens when young people are trusted to lead. A year ago, I walked into a room that changed everything for me. Hundreds of people, glowing laptop screens, music blasting in the background, and the type of energy that makes you feel like anything is possible. I was at my very first hackathon. I was excited. I was nervous. But I was ready to build. But when I got there, I realized everybody was either already in college or working in tech. But there I was, the only high schooler. I didn't feel out of place because I didn't belong. I felt out of place because there was something missing. Where were the other high schoolers? Where were the other young, tech-savvy, creative teens who could come out with bright new ideas if they simply had the door open for them? And that's when I realized, maybe nobody had built the space. Maybe we were waiting for somebody to create it. That night, I went home with one thought on my mind. If it doesn't exist, I'll create it. And that's when Hack the Track was born, the very first high school hackathon in all of Kentucky. Now, if you've never been to a hackathon before, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine 24 to 48 hours of pure creativity. Ideas flying, teams forming, code breaking, bug fixing, and more caffeine than anybody should have in one weekend. But I didn't want Hack the Track to just be another coding competition. I wanted it to actually matter. I wanted us students to actually be working on projects that can make an impact in our community. That's why I decided to make 5 challenge tracks that align with the goals of our mayor. They are education, environment, housing accessibility, public safety, and downtown revitalization. These aren't just abstract issues. They are our shared experiences that need solutions now. But translating this grand vision into reality is a lot harder than it seems. And that's when I decided to put a team together. I partnered with the founder of Hack Kentucky, and I created a team with some of my friends, Ajay, Helen, and Maylin, and we got started. But we needed a whole lot of funding, a venue, Wi-Fi to sustain so many people pushing their changes up at the exact same time. We needed judges, mentors, food, prizes. We needed to send thousands of emails, make hundreds of phone calls, social media posts, to convince adults that yes, high schoolers really can pull off something this big. Now, even after all of that, one question still lingered in my mind. If we built it, would they come? Or would it just be a room with a whole lot of snacks and a drink? But on that Friday night, I got my answer. They came. Students from 15 different schools across Kentucky. Some drove hours to get there. Some had never coded before. And some even brought notebooks instead of computers. But they all came with one shared goal, to learn. The media even came. Cameras, microphones, and a whole lot of questions. What were high schoolers doing running a hackathon? They asked. And that's when I realized we didn't just create an event. We captured the imagination of our community. My first takeaway from this event is young people aren't future leaders. We're problem solvers today. Now, I want to tell you 2 stories that really made a lasting impact on me from this event. The first is about these 4 girls that came from a school hours away and they had no technology program. On the first day, they were very enthusiastic and excited. And they even started to come out with their projects. But by the second day, they didn't have a ride to come back. But one girl spent the entire morning calling, trying to figure out a way back. And finally she made it, but was alone. Her teammates couldn't come along with her. But thankfully, we had people at the event who were willing to start a new team with a brand new idea, and they got started immediately and came up with something amazing and even won an award. The second story I want to talk about is about this boy who came alone. He was quiet, shy, and he sat in the corner alone during icebreakers. Some of the other students noticed, and even though they had already gotten in the team, they decided to make a new one with him to make sure that he felt included in the event. The student, who would barely speak at the beginning, was up there presenting to a panel of judges. He didn't just find a team, he found his people. My second takeaway from this event is when students are given a real opportunity, they don't just grow in skill, they grow in confidence, grit, and compassion. Now, I want to talk about something very important, especially when AI is such a big thing today. People assume that hackathons are about who can write the best code and who can produce the best output. But AI is meaningless without human direction. AI doesn't magically create solutions. At Hack the Track, students didn't just write code. They were able to learn how to collaborate, compromise, and to learn from other perspectives of their teammates. Sure, AI can generate text, but it can't generate trust. It can organize data, but it can't organize a team. And it can create images, but can't create a community. Technology didn't carry the students. They carried each other. That's the difference between using AI and using AI well. My third takeaway is AI can create outputs, but only people can create impact. Now, I want to talk about my favorite part, the projects. And these are some projects that I feel could really make a meaningful impact on our community. I want to start off by talking about our first place winner, Byte. The problem that they aim to solve is currently policymakers have data scattered across hundreds of different spreadsheets and dozens of different sources. What Byte does is they combine it all together in a concise, clear, and easy to understand way. This can make a huge impact to metros to decide bus routes and public safety plans. The second project I want to talk about is called Safe Route, and they were our second place. Now, imagine you're a student walking home at 9 o'clock. It's pitch black outside. You don't just want to find the fastest route home, you want to find the safest. What Safe Route does is it finds a route that has the best lit streets, that has the lowest amount of crime, and that has the safest intersection, and combines it to make that safe route for you. And the third project I want to talk about won our Social Impact Award. They were called Kitchen Vine. Currently, restaurants and grocery stores throw away tons of food every single day. At the same time, so many people and families struggle with food insecurity. What Kitchen Vine aims to do is they connect these grocery stores and restaurants to these food shelters to make sure none of the food gets wasted. So, when young people are trusted to lead and solve problems, they don't just rise to the challenge, they exceed the expectations. I wish you could have been in that room that night. The 10 p.m. breakthroughs, the cheers, when somebody finally fixes that bug, the excitement and energy in the room when presenting working prototypes to a group of peers, judges, mentors. So here's my challenge for you. If you're an educator, give students problems to solve that actually matter. If you're a city leader, invite young technologists to the table. They might actually surprise you. And if you're a student, don't wait for permission. If a space that you need doesn't already exist, create it. Because making an impact on our community doesn't have to start with a grand idea. It starts with one simple question. Why not us? And that's why the theme of today, A Future in Action, means so much to me. The future isn't something that we're waiting for. It's something that we're actively building. And when young people are trusted to lead, I believe that they don't just transform their own lives. They can transform whole communities. Thank you.